So welcome to our monthly meeting, everybody. I know there's a few people who will probably come back and watch the recording. So as we go, I'm going to, because this month is only over Zoom, I'm going to unmute it so everybody can hear and scream for recognition. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited to have a Christmas party next week. Or this week, not next week. I hope it's this week. And for all the district managers and above, I'm going to host a lunch at my house, and I've gotten to buy stuff for you guys. It's kind of fun. So in Arbonne, they have, like, you have love languages, right? Pretty positive. Mine is buying people presents. So heads up, guys. Okay, I'm spelling recognition wrong, so I need to focus here a minute because I didn't open it. So this will be recognition for all of our immediate team in our nation. So anybody that's in the nation of National Vice President Julie Lackner. So you guys can unmute if you would like. And we have a lot, and there's a lot happening. So we just did a call series with Cecilia Stoll, and then for me, like, I turned around and I started doing this with more people on my team. So I took the information and passed it on to people on my team, and it's kind of cool to see what people are doing with that. And I'm going to recap for some of the training tonight. I'm going to recap that. There's background noise, so I just shut it off for a minute. But in that, seeing the people that were attending and putting the training into action and applying it are the people that are getting recognition. So that's really cool. And so we have a lot, so I'm going to jump right in. So top new and you is Sari Jones, and she is sponsored by Ashley Breeza with over $9,177. So congratulations, Sari. And yes, that means that she's got further recognition further down too. 2,500 new and you. There's Sari Jones, Mary Gibbons, Liz Figgins, Sierra Hubble, Michaela Shager, Sarah Lytle, Esther Chesson, Jennifer Peace, Nancy Holm, myself, Sheila Musel, and Martina Redoni. So hands up, clap together for everybody. And top sponsoring is Jennifer Peace with 7. So yeah, I get to go buy you flowers when you come too. And sponsoring stars. Oh no, wait, did sponsoring a second. In qualification for district manager is Sierra Hubble, sponsored by Sari Jones. Top district is Sari Jones with over 10,000. So that also means she is in qualification for area manager. And top area is myself with 25,766, mixing numbers up. So good job, team. And over halfway to region is our team. So we've got people over halfway to area and over halfway to region. So we've got this. There's a lot happening before GTC. It's all I can say. Top region is Marianne Hubbard with 66,000. District manager bonus earners, we have Jennifer Peace, myself, Sari Jones, and Michaela Shager. So clap again for everybody. And area manager bonus earners, we have myself and Michaela Shager. And when you earn both bonuses, like Michaela and I both did, then Arbonne pays you the highest bonus. So if you, and I didn't really go over what the different numbers mean, so I'm sorry, I can run over that really quickly. The district manager is the level you get your first pay raise, and so then you start getting commission on everything that you are personally doing, not only what the people underneath of you are doing. So when you're building your business, and we'll be talking about this tonight, your brick is $2,500 minimum of new and you every month. So all the names that I listed off at the beginning are all the people who hit the $2,500 new and you block. And when you hit that block consistently, you will consistently hit your district bonus, And you want to make that your goal to hit your district bonus, because when you're hitting your district bonus, your business is growing, because that's what Arbonne pays you on. You always get paid the most on what you are personally doing. Then because we have a trip, we will track the top 3 central districts for the next few months for everybody involved. But when you are earning the trip, everything this month was doubled. So only towards the trip. Like Arbonne doesn't double your paycheck on what you're being paid on that, but they're doubling what you're getting to accrue towards the trip to Cancun. So the top district was Michaela Shager with over 15,000, myself with over 13,000, and Sari Jones with over 10,000. So each of them, like everybody who registered for the trip, that's all going to get doubled. So I'm going to jump in, and Martina, if there's something that I'm missing, unmute and add. I'm going to run over announcements a second, and then I'll jump into training, because the training is going to be really quick. But we got together. We had our first annual VP meeting, Martina and I, and we got together and figured out dates. So we're actually going to get a calendar that you guys can print off, and you can see what's coming. We figured out monthly meetings for the year, and the only thing that will change the dates that we have figured out is if there's a challenge or something that we're in, like the last couple of weeks, the challenge for Cecilia's call changed the dates for our meeting because her time zone is further ahead of us. So the time that she had the phone call was actually when our meeting was. So I couldn't do both because they were not recorded. So the only thing that will change the dates will be something like that. So of course, we've got, for all the district managers and above, we have a lunch for you guys this Saturday, and then our Christmas party Saturday evening. And I know we've got people figuring out like where they're staying. I have room for a couple people here, a couple more people. But if everybody is more comfortable doing hotels, that's totally fine. If you're here, it'll be air mattresses and stuff. Then for January, Cecilia was talking about doing something different than you've done to get different results. Because right now, and what I'll be training on tonight, is our focus will be building a business, right? We're going to be focusing more on consultants, actually sharing the business with people, but then moving forward with that. And because of that, I wanted to, she was talking about a breakfast that they did as a Discover Arbonne. And so we added mimosa and muffins, and we can change the name of it to whatever we want, on Saturday the 14th at 10 a.m. And then we'll have our usual Discover Arbonne on the 16th at 6:30 p.m. And you will see invitations for that. But just to have something to be inviting people, or to have to be getting people involved in. But talking to so many people and sharing it and having something to bring them to. And then next month, for February, our monthly meeting will be the 6th. So if it's live, the doors to whatever space you're headed to will open at 6:30, and then the actual Zoom, we will start promptly at 7. So normally we're on early. And then we're going to see how the Saturday morning Discover Arbonne goes, and we'll add more consecutively. Like it might be something that we do one of those a month, if that's easier for people. And then our Discover Arbonne will be the 20th. And I'm going to put this, I'll print this up on my calendar so you guys can just print it yourselves and have it accessible. But giving you a heads up for that. Make sure if you registered for the trip that you have that blocked out in your calendar, like when it is. We've got quite a few people are going January 27th to the Colorado Springs training for Keith Kochner, which I'm really excited about. Like, I love his trainings, and I know that they're way different in person, so I'm excited to kind of go see what I've heard, but actually then participate in it. So that's what I have for there. I know people are starting different calendars, and everybody's calendars, from what I've seen so far, has a worksheet for you to do every month. Remember to do the 40 faces sheet. Oh, print your print your little tracker. Somehow I printed a big page for my tracker and I got this tiny little page. So it's fine, I'll use it. But print your little palm tree, because this is tracking what you're doing on the trip. And then every district manager that you promote, you get a color in the leaf, and you're clearly going for level 5, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to earn the trip for 2 people and get cash for your airfare? But under trackers, print the daily to-do focus sheet. We've gotten away from this. We have gotten away from goals, and there will be a group Voxer that's going again for goals. We need to get back on that, because the people that I've talked to, what your goals to hit manager levels by GTC, those are not going to happen if we're not repeating our goals to ourselves. And then the 40 faces sheet, I'm going to be talking about this. We're going to, like, just bringing you back to the basics of what we're doing, right? Make sure also that you've printed the tracker sheet for anybody that you have doing the healthy living, and then start using the check boxes so you know who's where. You're filling in people's weights and stuff like that so you can keep track of them, because you are personally coaching any person that you brought to the group, not me. All I'm going to be doing is posting the videos and posting the photos and the information about whatever we're learning about on that day, but you personally will be checking in with them. Like, I'm not messaging them to see how they're doing. Make sure that you're following that. That's telling you when to call them to see what they like for shakes, if they need help with anything. Kind of cheating for you is to just send them their kit and then let them watch the video that I did telling them how to use it all. Go through it with them, like explain what to do for them. So let me flip back here a second, because Cecilia did, and almost, like, a lot of people will have heard this, but she did the basic activity of what it should look like when we're working. Like, what are we going to be doing every month in activity? What sheets do you need? And just kind of going over as a recap to remind everybody, this is what the pace is going to be set from here for me. Like, this was my goal, because the people that followed it are promoting to the next level, right? So her homework was the 40 faces sheet and doing 20 faces of them, so 20 new people a week. So she's going through 2 of these a month. If your goal is to promote to the next level, you'll be literally using half of this page every week. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, first of all, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so many people. But then I started counting. If you have 2 parties a week, and each of those parties has between 3 and 5 people, right there, you're at 10 people. If you're sending out roughly 4 sample or demos a week, or a study of some sort, there's another 4. If you did 4 business one-on-ones, there's another 4. Like, 20 sounds like a lot, but if we break it down to the activity that we're actually doing, it's not that much. And then leaving, that would leave a few more that you're doing as bump intos or whatever for people that you can connect with or invite them to or something. Discover Arbonne, and we've got a couple coming up. It's mostly just going to be re-amping up what you're doing. So, and I have kind of to chuckle, because in the past, I think how I worked Arbonne, from what I'm learning from Cecilia, I've heard some people be like, oh, well, you need to kind of quiet it down a little bit. Like, you're going too fast. Like, don't work so hard. The only thing that I'm going to be doing differently is I'm going to be utilizing the phone and Zoom like none other. Judy, who's a new consultant in Great Falls, I will be training her probably solely over the phone and Zoom. So it's like, especially in weather like this, it's making it so I'm not having to drive. Granted, I'm still going to drive to places, and I'm still going to have presentations and pamperings for people from booths and whatnot. And all of that counts. but just ramping up what I'm doing, because otherwise there's no way I'm going to hit the top of this palm tree, right? Like, you hit the top of the palm tree by your personal central. So anybody that's already promoted out of my central, I can't just sit there and hope that they all work and then I earn the trip. That's not how Arbonne works, right? We can't just let somebody else do it for us. So January for a lot of people, and you'll hear chitter chatter, January can be slow. Do you know that no January for me has ever been slow? Because I always, from the people that I sold products to on a sale, I always ended up rebooking stuff with them or getting another referral. And make sure you're asking for referrals from people. But I ended up getting other activity from the people because I talked to so many people in December. And this December is so exciting to tell you. I think, like, in years past, it's like you're going for volume. So the sales were built that you gave people your discount and you didn't really make a paycheck, because your paycheck, your commission, you were putting back into products for people to buy more, right? To have a bigger discount. And that didn't happen this year. This year we sold so many ASCPs, people hit bonuses. Jen, we were on the phone New Year's Eve, and some of the people that are in our healthy living group, I had just messaged everybody, and some of those people are under her. And so I messaged everybody like 4 days prior, okay? I hadn't heard from them, so I just messaged every one of those people again, and she ended up getting 3 new signups and sold, like, she was sitting at $3,400 or something the day before the last day of the month. And she ended over $7,000. Like, her volume jumped over $3,000 because of people that orders, like, that's what happens when you don't quit. You just have to check back with people and orders keep coming back in, right? So the same thing as for the trip, except we just don't have a month to earn it. But what did Cecilia talk about the entire time she was training? She comes back to consistency and discipline to build habits. Consistency, discipline, and habits. So while she was doing her call, I went into Ross, and as you can see in the background, I have, like, my wall is probably going to end up being a little montage of little signs. And I found that sign that says, motivation is what gets you started, habits keep you going. And that's the same for everything. You are the one that controls your momentum, and you are the one that control your habits. So is it funky right after New Year's? Absolutely. Everybody's, on the same, it's kind of funky, like you take your Christmas tree down and your house feels empty. You take some Christmas decorations down, and I'm really happy I don't have to do that yet because my Christmas party's not over. So it's still going to be Christmas when you guys come. But, like, it just feels weird. It's like your family, you see a bunch of people, you're on vacation, and then you have to go home. So it's the same feeling. But what we're going to be doing is just focusing on, and I want you guys will end up posting in our Team Nation page what your goals are for January. But in every book that we've read this last year, in every call that Cecilia just did, you can write whatever you want on a piece of paper. You can have this huge, hairy, big, audacious goal, and it's on a piece of paper. What are you actually committed to doing? So write your goals down, but write what is absolutely minimum. Nothing less than X is unacceptable for you. When we walk into GTC and I bought tickets, my tickets were, like, I was watching flights and stuff, and they were just going to keep going up. And there was only 3 left coming home from Vegas on that plane, so I bought tickets. But when we walk into GTC, and if you've never been, watch videos that are posted, like, the magnitude of the energy of people there, you cannot describe it. It is a completely different feeling. And I've gone years that the title on my tag didn't match what I wanted. Or I had a ton of people with me, and then the next year I was by myself. That kind of thing. Like, that's happened to me. So when I went back one year, I remember every time they played songs, for people to walk stage or to introduce somebody, I would just start crying. Like, I couldn't quit crying because I was so frustrated. But if I look back on my calendar for that year, I was frustrated by what I didn't do. It wasn't anybody else, right? It was like I expected other people to do things. And what has changed for me in that time, I don't expect other people to do things. Like, I look at a number on a paper now and I will figure out how to get that number. And then whatever any person on my team working is doing adds to that. So clearly, like when you go area and you go region, you need, especially area, like, okay, you don't need district managers to go area, but you better have them in the works, because otherwise you're going to get to area and it's hard to hold yourself there, right? You can hold yourself there. That's a lot of freaking work. So I got to area manager without districts, but I had districts promoting. I had people in qualification for district, okay? And they didn't promote until 2 months after I had promoted to area. So for everybody looking at it, it's like, wow, that's a lot of numbers. Every number that anybody tells you is big. It's how you break it down and how many people you feel like are helping work towards that number. So even when I just starting new consultants, like the last 2 days, when I'm telling them what to do and what numbers they're going to need to hit, it's interesting when you are talking to a person who doesn't know, they have no expectation because they don't know Arbonne, right? It's not huge to them. It's huge to people that have sat here and we think about it and then we make it this huge mountain, but it isn't a mountain. People are doing it in 2 weeks. Why? Because they're finding business partners. So what we will be focusing on is finding business partners, and every training that we do, every call we're on, we're going to have a call series that's starting with Deanna Herron. And I would encourage every one of you to get on it. I can't sign you up for it. I can get the information from her and pass it on to people, but I can only tell her who wants to do it. And if you don't comment back that you want to do it, you're not in the group to get all the information for it. But do it, because it's going to stretch you. And she's giving you homework, and there'll be different NVPs training, but everything that they're doing and talking about and training on will all be exactly what we're talking about right here. So I think it's sometimes just good to have multiple people reminding you what to do. And when you start the right person, they will be 10 steps ahead of you. When you talk to the right person about Arbonne, when you talk to them, when they have questions, they already know they're signing up, right? Like I just stopped and was like, you already know in your heart what you want to do. And she started laughing. She's like, yeah, I do. People already know. They're going to be 10 steps ahead of you. You're almost like reining them in to be like, oh, slow down. Hang on just a second. Like, there's a process to this. But make sure you've got updated new consultant binders, because if your goal is to go area so you can go attend the white party and get the spot A from me in Vegas, the spot A is happening Wednesday. So keep that in mind when you fly. If you fly or you're flying in, buying tickets, whatnot, plan to fly in Wednesday. When you promote and you help somebody promote to area, you also get to pick a Tiffany. Like, you'll get a blue box, but you'll get to pick what's inside of it. Okay? So, because some people like bracelets, some people like necklaces, some people like earrings, whatever. You'll get a price range and you get to pick something to put in that box. And there's a Tiffany's in Vegas. So maybe we could do something where we just go shopping. But what do you want? What do you want on your name tag when you get to Vegas? And when you see your name tag, are you going to be excited and jump up and down? Or are you going to be like, oh, same thing I was last year. And I promised myself I wasn't coming back with that same manager level. Like, now is the time to put it into action. We have 3 months. And Krista posted a training that I will go back and search for and comment on to tag you guys in or whatever. Listen to it again. It was talking about going region in 3 months. How that lady literally thought she looked at her husband and was just like, this is not happening. Like, they were moving, they were having babies, like all this stuff was going on in her life. And she's like, this isn't, I just have to give it one more go. If I give it one more go, I put all into it and it doesn't work, I'm okay with that, but I can't quit where I'm at now. And she ended up promoting a region in 3 months because her head was different, right? She committed to it until, and that's what Deanna or Cecilia talked about through her entire call series was, are you committing until? Do you have a back door? If you still have a back door open, nothing is going to happen. You have to shut a back door. And what are you telling people when you introduce yourself? Are you telling them about a job? Or are you telling them that you work Arbonne and you're also a ... And I loved how Deanna Herron, when she just did the boot camp training the other day, she's saying she's, you know, in Arbonne and she's going along and she's getting into all the information about the products. And then she goes, oh, I guess I didn't tell you my background. You know, for her, that held her up for years, was the fact that she had a title with a physician's assistant. She had letters after her name that she paid a lot of money for. And we are the same with degrees or whatever we do. Like, we have this idea of what we've done and that we're losing our identity if we quit telling people we do this over here and we start telling them we're doing this over here. Like, we're losing our identity, and that shouldn't be what it is. Your job should not define you. It should add to you. And when Jennifer Hess was here, she was talking to me about doing her hair, and she goes, okay, but if you stripped all of that away, if you strip away the salon from what you're doing right now, if you strip away your husband, if you strip away your friends, if you strip away kids, if you strip away the fact you're not a mom, if you strip away your team, you take everything away, what's left? You. You are you. And we can lose sight of that. Like, something that we're doing defines us. And something we're doing can add to us, but it should not be our worth, right? You should be worthy without a title. You should be worthy without a job. You should be worthy without your family. You should be worthy without whatever, fill in the blank. And when we identify with a title or a job or something that we achieved, that's why you will hear so many NVPs say, if your only goal, say you've been in Arbonne a while and your goal in life now, you can see what ENVPs do, and your goal is to become an ENVP, that can't be your goal. You have to have a reason, because if you get to ENVP and you hit your goal, you pretty much are going to lose yourself, right? Arbonne is not your identity. It's what you do. It can be what you're really good at. You can help people through it. But if you take Arbonne out of your life, you're still you. Would you work on yourself for you? You know, in anything you're doing, would you keep growing yourself? And so to add to this, because I know Deanna is going to get into awesome training when we start, and I want to say hers starts tonight. So am I the only one that doesn't feel like the year's ended until after this Christmas party this weekend? It doesn't feel, I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm excited for January. I can't wait for January to come. And I'm like, oh, I'm in January, you know? But I think that when we get into the swing of things, like for this next week, your homework will be to just focus on booking your calendar. If your calendar is 100% packed, okay, disregard, shut it off, log off right now. If your calendar is not packed, get your calendar booked, because whatever you do, there's a saying that this month's sales is next month's business. So last month, whoever you sold products to, those will be people that are working the business this month. And when you keep it up, like when we get out of the mentality that a month is 30 days and we work that 30 days and then we crash, when we get into the mentality that we're just going to keep going and going and going, we don't get frustrated when things move to next month, because we have enough happening in this month. we don't get bummed when something moves to next month, because you're going to need it next month too. And the book that I'm reading, Ego is the Enemy, he's talking about in our life, we feel like that we are going to get to some point in our life and then we're going to be able to completely quit working. He's like, I don't care what you are doing for a job, a business, a startup company, you're an entrepreneur, you're whatever you are, the work never ends. So get out of the mindset that you're going to do this for 2 years or 5 years and then you stop. Start working consistently to build on itself. Like, just make this part of your daily routine. It doesn't stop. And as I was reading through this, Cecilia's doing her training calls, and I was watching, and I'm thinking, it's true. She still works, right? What she's doing for work has changed a little bit, and it's morphed over the years, but she still has every day time that she allots to Arbonne for work. And then I started thinking about other NBPs. Deanna Herron's the same way, right? Like, we have the retirement mentality because we're in America and we're taught we're supposed to retire. Like, you get to this point and then you have this much in your pension and then you can retire, and that's not going to be there for us. The only thing that's going to be in our retirement will be money we've put in a bank account for our own retirement, or if you put money in a 401k or whatever, right? Social Security probably is not going to be around by the time I need Social Security. I am my Social Security check. That's a sobering thought, right? Like, I'm watching my grandparents. So when you get into the mentality that you're always going to be working, I started applying that same thing to working out. It's like eating. You don't eat for 5 years and then just quit eating. You're always going to have food to eat. If you apply that same thing to working out, to reading books, to whatever you're doing, all of a sudden it becomes less overwhelming. It doesn't feel like you have to like push super hard and get it right now and make it happen immediately. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be here for a while. Let's figure out a flow, a pace that I can keep up. Will it speed up or slow down at different times in your life? Absolutely. When something big is happening, it's probably going to slow down. When you're pushing for a huge goal, you're probably going to ramp it up to hit it, right? And part of why Arbonne puts the incentives that they do is to always have something that people like my entire team, that's carrot people and gift people, that those people are striving for. And I giggled because I get this text message from Jen, and she goes, oh my goodness, have you seen? And it's a link, and it's blank. Didn't know what she was talking about. And I opened the link, and it was Bloomfire, and I was like, I think that's Arbonne's link. I was positive, but I couldn't see anything, right? So she texts me back, and she goes, she texted me a picture of it. How many of you knew that there's an incentive happening this month for anybody who hits 2,500 new and you? Martina's like, I did. So there's the incentive for the Bluetooth speaker. Do you know, and it's called the Pump Up the Volume incentive. Arbonne used to do incentives like this, and we had an incentive from the 1st to the 15th, and then from the 15th, we had to hit a certain amount of volume, and then from the 15th to the 30th or 31st, we had to hit another certain amount of volume. Do you know that that's how I earned all of my Arbonne memorabilia? And every time I see Martina, she has this green ring, because they would do jewelry. They would do, like, I have a blanket that has Arbonne printed on it, a picnic basket. I earned like 3 different briefcases. I earned bags. I earned, the list went on and on and on. It was a letter, stationery, all this stuff. And they did a bunch of different jewelry. And every time I see Martina wear this ring, that is the only thing in that incentive line for the ring I didn't hit. I got the earrings, I got the necklace. I don't remember if they did a bracelet. I don't think they did a bracelet. But I wear rings, right? Every time I see Martina wear this green ring, I'm reminded of like 2006 when we had the incentive to earn jewelry, and they're doing that again. I don't know if you guys have seen, kind of on the information side, if you saw the email that's talking about how they're revamping the Strong Start and the Grow Strong progress or process, because they're changing the incentive and the compensation plan for consultants. Consultants will now be earning more commission and also be able to hit bonuses, which is fabulous. Like, they've put this in play over the summer, and it worked really well, so they're keeping it. So that will be changing. So you can go, like, if you click on that email, there's a link that takes you to the success plan, and it tells you you can go read the new success plan. So you're going to need to print that off, because that's not coming in new consultant starter kits or whatever, right? But little things like, we work harder, and I just look back at all the things I earned from Arbonne, tiny things. But when I got a little gift, it like makes my day. Like, I was thinking about the amount of volume that we sell for a trip, and I will figure this out. I'll break down the paycheck of that, what we make to earn that trip, because we get to earn the paycheck plus a trip, right? But do you know that I work harder for the incentives, little incentives, on the little things that Arbonne gives away, like the water bottles, the Bluetooth speaker. Okay, I just got a Siri, or I just got whatever, Alexa for Christmas, but I'm excited about this. It's the little things. And everybody on my team is tending to be the same. So Arbonne does this to help keep us on track, because they know what we need to hit for bricks. And we're going to have a challenge for people in January that hit their district bonus every month at the end of the year. When you hit your district bonus every month, whatever level you are, when you're bonusing for that level every month, you're going to get a Tiffany piece of jewelry at the end of the year. And I think I'm liking that you guys get to pick it out, because then it's something, like, I can just give you stuff, but if you don't like it, you probably won't wear it. So to sweeten the pot for you, like, start bonusing, because that's where your promotions are. When you're bonusing, you're talking to more people, because you cannot buy the product, right? We don't, like, literally, I can show you a small basket of all of the Arbonne product that I have. It is this big. That's it. Like, I do not have back stock, because if I sell back stock, Arbonne can't guarantee them a 45-day money-back guarantee, and it's not new volume for me that month, right? So, like, be careful. That's kind of what I have for training, and you're not doing it alone. Like, when Cecilia said what we were doing for training, I was kind of, for homework, I was kind of like, wow, that's a lot. But when I started breaking it down, I was like, okay, no, this is chunkable. And it's chunkable when your goals are on track, and when you're disciplining yourself with habits to fuel or run your own day. When your day's running you, you're screwed. When you are running your day, you're going to get so much accomplished, you will be amazed. And one of her trainings, she talked about how you need to chunk out time on your calendar and then stick to those hours. If you are not sticking to the time on your calendar that you're working, you're going to be all over the place. So that's what I've got. If anybody wants to unmute, I kind of went over all the meeting times, but we'll get a calendar posted. So can you guys, let's unmute. Our calendar is helpful. Like, when you guys see, is it handy to have something that you can go to in one place and print everything off and know what you got for the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Something else too, I'm going to throw in there I didn't cover. Martina and I were talking about, because this is our VP team, we're talking about our retreat for this year and different Arbonne trainings that we're going to go to. In August, I'm going to mute somebody here just a second. Let me figure out, there's something going on in the back. There you go. In August, there's the Green Bay retreat, and I want to say it's the last weekend in August, but it depends on when the team for the Green Bay Packers is not playing at Lambeau Field. Because when there's practice, I guess the town is so full of people that they can't do anything. So Donna Johnson always does it the week that they're not playing. But I think it's the week of the 24th, 25th, 26th. So you could put these on your calendar, but we will be implementing that this year as our area manager retreat. So you need to be area or above to get there. And then Deanna's will be in February normally. So then we can add Deanna's for everybody who's able and can budget. But just set up savings accounts and know that you're putting money towards savings accounts for different things that we're going to be doing, because it's not a surprise, right? Well, the Impact Training Tour normally happens in September, the end of August or September. Depending on what city it's in, will be dependent on like how close it is to us if we can go. There was one in Missoula one time, a couple of years ago. It was awesome because it was like we could drive 3-4 hours. Every other one I've been to has been in Denver. So I think the closest one to us is Denver or Seattle, Washington area. But yeah, we'll put that stuff on and make it a plan to stick to it. Like this will be our year. So I feel like we're on a track or on a roll, and maybe because I've decided that I'm going to start buying things early before I need them. There's something different when you buy a plane ticket somewhere. You're like, all right, I'm going. Now I need to make the money to pay for this. Like, I need to make sure that I have money. Because, like, when you go to Vegas, right, you need to have money set aside for your hotel room. And Jen did something super smart where she would just put money, any extra money she had from tips or whatever, she stuck it in an envelope. And then when we went, she was like, check this out, like, I'm rich. That was like how she started saving.
You can't use it on Arbonne products.
Oh yeah, you cannot bring cash because Arbonne, when you buy the I Want It All, they will not take cash for products. You have to take a credit card or a debit card or something. They have to swipe a card for you. So
or the boutique isn't either.
Oh, the boutique, yeah. Anything they do, they're trying to not keep cash on because they don't want to be robbed. So make sure you're taking cards for that. You can use cash for the hotel and this year we need to have that stuff paid for before we go, and we'll figure out who's in which room and whatnot. But yeah, it's like when you start doing things like that and you're setting it in motion, it changes how excited you get about it, because then you know it's solidifying and you can see what you're saving, and money adds up fast. If you set aside literally $20 from every paycheck, depending on what your paychecks look like. So for me, I'll just set aside 10%. I can have what I'm setting aside to use for Arbonne in a couple months. And then I can move it over and put something else into a different savings account because I know there's going to be a different training, right? So don't even budget that money into your life. Like, budget it in for what you're going to be doing for training, because you need that money and fuel and stuff like that. So, and like when we go to Colorado, we can talk to and figure out who's all going. I know Nancy is. I think Judy's planning on going. We'll have to talk. But we could just meet up wherever, and we split fuel and all that stuff. We don't have to pay for a hotel. So, and if we're all going together in different places, it's easier because we know, like, I guess from going to Green Bay, now I know what's expected. Next year is going to be easier. It's a lot like Vegas, where you have to be shuttled to and from. So next year will be a lot easier. So,
Grace, what is the training that Deanna's doing that's extra? So is she doing a fall series?
Yes. Yes. I tagged you guys all in a post on that. Okay. But that'll be coming up. And there wasn't a specific level that you had to be to attend that training, so get on it. Like, she was doing it for all levels.
Which training is that?
The one from Deanna Herron. So I'll go find that and tag you guys in that.
Awesome.
So I'm going to end recording here. So whoever joins us, have a good month. If you want to do anything that we're talking about, message me, call me, find me on Facebook.